welcome back. It's Rachel, and today we are going to be doing a book tag video. This is a tag that I created myself based on rather recent life events, and it is the What to Do If Your Tinder Date Turns Out to Be Married book tag. So I put together a couple of different prompts, which I will leave down below if you would like to do this, and I tag anybody who is interested and who has had a very similar experience to me, where you were talking and having a grand old time. They mentioned where you worked, so you figured, hey, a little bit of internet stalking never hurt anybody, and then you found out that they were married and you immediately had to cut them out of your life. So the first book is one that has a strong revenge plot at its core, because you know, when you feel gypped like that, your immediate reaction is, oh god, how do I retaliate? So the best book that I could come up with for this prompt was Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. For those of you who don't know, this is book 2 to Vicious, and it stars a female character who goes on a journey to get revenge on everybody who has done her wrong in life in the most badass ways possible. Is she the villain of this book? Well, yes. But does she do a lot of badass things while she's the villain? Absolutely. This book on my list is actually a series of books, but the prompt is a book that reminds you that people are idiots, and some days there's just no understanding them no matter what, and that series is The Murderbot Diaries. For those of you who don't know, Murderbot Diaries stars a character named Murderbot who is struggling against his programming as a robot designed as a sec unit to look after all of these humans that seem quite intent on dying. And he takes a very satirical look on people. And at the end of the day, he learns to care about people, but he's very reluctant to care about people. And hey, after finding out that somebody that you were talking to and you were being totally honest with lied to you, some days you're a little reluctant to care about people too. This book's prompt is a book that lets you wallow in your sadness and lets you know that no matter how sad you get, you're still not as bad off as this next character. This book is, of course, New Moon. Bella Swan unarguably makes a lot of stupid life choices in this. She deals with the pain and rage of losing Edward in very terrible ways, but it also has a realistic look on what happens when you get super attached to somebody and they leave and you have made them your entire world, and then you don't know what to do with yourself, which admittedly is not quite the case with Tinder guy that ended up being married, but hey, for those of you struggling through a rough time, been there myself, that's why we're on Tinder in the first place. This book actually, despite all of the shit it gets, and rightfully so, this book helps. The next is a book that makes you laugh, because if you are going to be this utterly ridiculous with the world, you know, or if the world is going to be this utterly ridiculous, you might as well laugh at it, right? Like, if you can't beat them, laugh at them. And that book is The Martian by Andy Weir. For those of you who don't know, this is a sci-fi book that was hugely popular a few years ago about a man who ended up stuck on Mars and had to grow potatoes out of his own poop in order to be able to survive. And he was not exactly the most thrilled about this, but he had a really good sense of humor and he pulled through. The next book, I feel like is a really important lesson for everybody, and this can apply to all of this next author's books, but the next book prompt is a book to remind you that you can be happy in relationships outside of romantic ones, and that having just solid friendships is what gets you through the end of this one. Is the book I chose for this next prompt is Anxious People by Frederick Backman. This book, for those of you who don't know, follows a group of people after a bank robbery gone horribly wrong that turned into a hostage situation, who kind of all get thrown together in like the craziest of circumstances and have to learn to work together in order to be able to survive. There's also quite a bit of discussion about suicide and mental health in this. A lot of people argue that this isn't Frederick Backman's strongest work, but a lot of his books focus more on friendships and found family and less so on romantic relationships, which I wholeheartedly support. And him as an author is just wonderful. He'll make you cry, he'll make you laugh, and he'll make you feel like the world is a better place, which is what I felt like after reading this book, which, given the rest of this year, Tinder dates aside, I think we can all use a little bit more of that in general. But the last prompt is a book that will remind you that no matter what, there is somebody out there for you, even if that Tinder guy just was not the one. And this book, I chose The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. For those of you who don't know and who have been living under a rock and not watching any YouTube videos whatsoever about BookTube lately, Addie LaRue follows Addie throughout her 300-year journey after she made a deal with the devil to live forever and earn her freedom, but she ultimately was cursed to be forgotten by everybody she's ever met, which, you know, you have to be remembered by somebody in order to be able to love them, right? And this journey is heartbreaking. It's very, very real. It captures that feeling of loneliness and isolation quite well. I will admit that I cried multiple times while reading this book, and I just could not put it down. But spoiler alert, she ultimately does find somebody who remembers her, and they fall in love. I'm not going to spoil the ending for you and let you know what happens. Just know there's a lot of heartbreak and tears, but there's also a lot of happy moments and good moments. And this kind of restored my faith in the universe, that even if the woman who was doomed to be forgotten can find somebody, maybe I can too. So that does it for this video. Hopefully you guys like it and it's not totally out of the weird realm for you guys. Let me know down below if you want to see me do more videos like this, because I do have quite a few other tag ideas that I came up with while I was coming up with this one. Feel free to like or comment and subscribe, any of the above. I am just touched you guys sit down and watch my videos from time to time. It makes me happy. I love reading y'all's comments. Sorry that there aren't any little critters in this video, but I will make it up to you and show you some cute kittens after this. So I hope you guys are all staying safe, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon with another video. Bye!